Hello and welcome. Now, when I heard that we first had our own gas at Atwabu, I was elated. Finally, an end to this terrible energy crisis was near. Now, they tell us that the Atwabu gas processing plant is expected to generate about 150 million standard cubic feet of gas per day to supplement the energy produced at Akosombo Dam. Then the people at the Energy Commission and the Wood Group started talking, and I couldn't quite understand it. Why do they want us to sit, they're sitting on our joy, sitting on our happiness, or do they really have a point? Now, I figured that we should get an informed and objective point of view, and that is what I bring to you today. My name is Anan Sakwao, and this is PM Express. When I come back, I'm just going to sit around the table and talk to my brothers on this issue. Don't move.
The concerns have largely been informed by correspondents from both the Energy Commission and independent technical auditor, the Wood Group, pointing to some issues which would have to be resolved. The Energy Commission, however, explains it only sought clarification on activities being undertaken by the Ghana Gas at the plant following some leads it had received. It, however, says there is no cause for alarm.
Saturday, that is the 8th of November, we wrote to Ghana Gas to seek clarification about the kind of activities that were going on and how these kind of activities were going to impact on the readiness of the plant to receive the gas. Happily, Ghana Gas replied to us on the 10th of November, clarifying the issue that the activities that were ongoing there were not activities that will impact negatively on the readiness of the plant to receive the gas. They said they were doing certain things in connection with the LPG that is expected from the 10 fields in 2016. So we are satisfied with the explanation that is given.
The technical regulators of the sector insist it has only given the company the mandate to run tests on the gas processing plant. Ghana Gas, meanwhile, has 6 weeks to conduct the test runs, after which the Commission will decide to give it the license to process gas in commercial quantities.
When the period of the test run is over, then we grant them a license. We are very committed. And as I speak to you, we have our men there at Atwabu right now, following diligently the process. Indeed, the permit that we granted to Ghana Gas, they report to us on a daily basis.
The Energy Commission also insists that it will ensure all technical requirements are met before the plant is finally licensed to operate commercially. Abigail Adumakwenchi for Joy News.
Well, gas in Ghana, but not gas in them as in gas chamber, but pumping gas into Atwabu so we have energy, and that's what we are talking about. To my immediate left, no stranger to the show, my own brother Atik Mohammed. Atik, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And then to my far left, Hakeem Tahiru, who's a petroleum law and policy analyst, going to join us to talk about this issue. Hakeem, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be on this show.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. Let me start with you. Let me go back a bit. I think all the way to 2009, and I think Kwame Janswa was who gave me the information that Nana, the Rolls-Royce turbines that they will use to sort of suck the gas into this chamber, they are not on the shelf that you can walk in to go and buy. You tell them my specification, and it takes them minimum 2 years to build this machine for you, so you go and use it. And ever since, anytime, I remember back then, anytime you engage any politician, oh, we'll do it in 18 months. I said, no, the equipment is, if you're going to order, will take 24 months. So that's the quickest you can do it. No. We have all worked out. And even though we haven't ordered it, we're doing 18 months. And since 2010 till date, I'm sure we've had about 25 different dates. Thursday, end of May, end of April, end of October, mid of June. Any date has been thrown to us, but finally, I think we should all be glad, as the accounts will say, Ejabo, Daddy's coming now, Daddy is home. So Atik called you here so that we celebrate Daddy's home. Daddy Gas, if I may say.
Thank you very much, and let me say good evening to our cherished viewers. I wish we could all jubilate about the literal coming home of Daddy. Unfortunately, it appears his journey home has had to face quite a number of challenges which are a little discomforting to us at home. And I think that to add to the point you earlier made about giving all kinds of very hard to meet deadlines, I think we've been treated to all kinds of dates. At some point, some of us were beginning to lose our patience because a project as huge as this, that we collectively have invested so much money. It is a $1 billion investment. And so if those who you expect to manage such an investment cannot, from the get-go, give you accurate dates about when the infrastructure that is supposed to process the gas we are expecting from the fields, I mean, if they can't give you the accurate date, then you would begin to wonder, how is this plant going to be managed? Should it be completed eventually? So for us, and personally, I think I had issues with the bad timing and the kinds of days they were giving up. But having said that, I think we have got to a point where we are being told that the plant is almost complete or is complete as they would want us to believe. And the Energy Commission, as we all know, is a technical regulator in the energy industry or in the energy sector. So one would expect that at every turn, the Energy Commission must be and should be in the know about what is going on, what kind of equipment are we using to put up this plant, and the quality, which is very important. Because the fact is that this is not just an ordinary kiosk we are trying to build. It is an infrastructure that is going to deal with one of the most important, one of the important byproducts of the find that we have made in terms of oil. So you would expect that the infrastructure is solid, the quality of materials used will be up to date and can stand the test of time. And you would expect, like I said, that every time that the Energy Commission will be in the know. Now, it is this same very commission that has raised concerns, even though the Ghana National Gas Company is telling us that they are ready and they would even begin test runs, or they are ready to start test runs. The same commission is telling us that you have given them the assurance that you have finished with the infrastructure. How come you are still doing works on it? Which means, technically speaking, you are not completely done in the right sense of the word done. So they raised concerns. And another entity also did an independent study of the entire project to reassure themselves and probably reassure Ghanaians that indeed this infrastructure that we have invested so many billions into is worth our investment and is ready to do the kind of job we want it, or we have set out to have it do. And unfortunately, after their study, they came out with very startling revelations. And for me, I identify strongly with some of their findings. For instance, they talk about the use of some substandard materials to do the construction of some parts of the plant. We've all been witnesses to sometimes very alarming accounts of how some equipment disappeared all of a sudden on the high seas and so on. So, and I think Ghanaians, seriously speaking, when it comes to this infrastructure, we have been unfairly treated. We are left off equilibrium. I mean, how many people know what really happens or what really is happening in the construction of this infrastructure? Which equipment were procured? What is the quality? And to that extent, I think that the Energy Commission could have done us a much better service by at every point. Because why? I mean, everybody was complaining before the discovery or immediately after the discovery of this find. We were saying that transparency is one of the reasons, or the lack thereof is one of the reasons why in some countries where oil has been discovered, they've had to go through some unfortunate conflict periods and so on. Because once there is not adequate transparency in that industry, it gives room to so many things. And I would have expected that since this is our investment, the $1 billion investment we are putting into this is the taxpayers' money. We needed to know at every point what kind of procurement went on, what is the quality, does it meet minimum international standards and so on and so forth. But nobody was given that opportunity to know what was going on. But this study, that I think this is the first time Ghanaians have had a clear, independent study of what really went into this construction. And the recommendations, or the findings, so to say, that have come out, personally, I think that I can identify with some of them. At some point, I was really concerned about the quality of materials we were using.
Okay, but let me go back to the change of dates. I mean, would you say it's our own fault because we probably hammered, the government too much, and there was a lot of, doomso adding to the pressure, and therefore, you're forced to come and say, look, I'll do it for you next month, I'll do it for you at the end of the week, I'll do, and they just kept giving dates.
You see,
we gave them too much pressure.
The truth of the matter is that nobody gave anybody any pressure. I think government inflicted this needless pressure on itself. The point being that we all knew from the get-go, in fact, right from 2010 when we started commercial production, we knew that there was going to be an infrastructure accompanying this find, and that infrastructure was to be a gas processing infrastructure. Now, you know very well that you don't just put up infrastructure as huge as this, you don't put it up in 24 months. It takes time. The procurement of the quality materials you would need to do the construction and so on. You need the contractors to even work on it. All these things are processes that you would need. But unfortunately for government, we began, we waited until some time, or after some time, before we started the construction of this infrastructure. So there was a time lag between the time we started commercial production and the time this construction began. Unfortunately for government, not long after this project had begun, then the doomso set in. So government needed an explanation to give to Ghanaians, to convince Ghanaians that indeed we are doing something about the present problem. And of course, the gas offered itself as an easy escape route for government. So government kept on hammering that, this is an infrastructure we are bringing to ensure that the thermal plants that we have. The problem we have in this country necessarily is not about our installed capacity or deficit in installed capacity. Our installed capacity as we speak today is around 2,800 megawatts. And our peak demand is 2,000, which means we have even a reserve margin of about 800. But the problem is about generation. You may have installed capacity, but if you are unable to generate, your installed capacity is useless.
Let me bring Hakeem in here. Hakeem, Energy Commission, goes to inspect this gas plant. Somehow they were not allowed to go to see it, but then they get a letter to say it's all clear. Do they act just based on the letter, or are they mandated to go and physically, also check for themselves? How does the law work?
Yeah, I'll get to that, but to begin with, I'll say oil and gas industry is a risk-averse industry. It is an industry that is highly regulated, and that regulations are meant to mitigate that risk. So when it comes to oil and gas industry, you don't have to play with regulations. And that is why you can have some entity set aside to do the engineering and the technical stuff, and another to regulate. And so at each point in time, the regulation must be adhered to. And Energy Commission is mandated, and the Energy Commission Act, that is 541, clearly is very explicit on this, and that it is in charge of regulating every activity, every operations, from upstream, that is midstream, downstream, and even processing of gas and transmission. So its mandate cuts across all this.
So then why would they stop Energy Commission from inspecting?
Well, I think it's like they're trying to set aside the mandate of the Energy Commission. And that is, the cry of the Energy Commission is legitimate, because they are mandated to do so. If today there is an issue or like a fault with or damage to the infrastructure, the question arises, what has Energy Commission been doing? And it has led us to this calamity. So it has a big question to answer there.
Because on the 8th of November, there were issues with it. On the 10th of November, the issues are solved. I mean, this is not in Nizan Sunny. It's a huge thing.
Yes.
So what were they complaining? Just a screw? I mean, one would expect some considerable, I don't know, maybe I'm not in the industry, maybe 2 days is fine to fix it?
Yes, I think it's all about transparency. It begins somewhere, and they have been following suit to ensure that the safety and all the standards are met. And talking about safety here, you are talking about a pipeline that spans over 101 kilometers. And there are a lot of settler communities around it. At each point in time, there may be engineers working around somewhere or another. And then if the right mechanisms are not put in place, if the safety concerns are not well addressed, and there happen to be explosions somewhere.
But Ghana Gas is saying
so
that
in effect,
clear.
No, well, that is, Ghana Gas is more like interested in results. So as a company that is more of doing managerial or operational stuff, they are interested in results. So sometimes they can overlook certain things that might pose danger to the health and safety of the people, and even it might look sight of the importance of ensuring that everything is working well before gas is pumped into the. So in that regard, that is why the issue of Petroleum Commission comes in here. That Energy Commission, sorry, Energy Commission. They are supposed to ensure that all this is done. And it is not difficult to do that. You just have to respect their mandate as a regulatory authority. Because if you begin to bring in the culture of defiance, that, we can always set aside the rules and go ahead, it is going to create problems in future. Because this is an industry where later on there may be other investors in the same industry. And if this culture is maintained, if there are foreign investors, they will be talking about national treatment here. Why can't you hold your own companies accountable? Or why can't you regulate your own local industry? Then when we come as foreigners, you are trying to be very stringent on us to follow these regulations. Besides, it is in the interest of, Ghana Gas, to respect the mandate of that Energy Commission. Because if anything goes wrong and it is brought into question, then the question that arises, why have you not secured the go-ahead or the permit from Energy Commission and you began with production?
I think what Hakim is saying just draws my mind to something. Maybe I may be extreme, but if anything happens, the insurance can say, look, I won't cover you because...
Yeah, they won't cover because
Energy Commission didn't check.
That is willful misconduct.
It's like you writing to say my car is roadworthy, and then I'll issue a ticket. If something happens and they realize that, no, you didn't take it to the roadworthy, side, then insurance can say, well, then...
Exactly so, because insurance is based on... They measure the effort you have put in place to mitigate or just prevent that from occurring, the explosion or the damage from occurring. If they do those analysis and realize that there is negligence on the part of the client, they will decide not to compensate you for anything. And
the truth of the matter is that, Nana, from the beginning, I was complaining about Energy Commission not doing so much in terms of service to us by letting us know at every point what really the situation is like. Until this study and the attempts to test run the infrastructure, I hardly heard the Energy Commission. They probably could be doing their thing, in private. But Ghanaians deserve to know. I mean, this is our property. This is our asset. We needed to know what is going into it, especially so that the investment is not coming from any other entity, save from us Ghanaians. We needed to know at every point what really their assessment, because at every turn they are expected to do the technical inspection and to do their own reporting. So Ghanaians, I think that, and let nobody tell me that, oh, if you want the information, you can go to Energy Commission. You know, these are pieces of information. They've published quite a number of things on their website. And I think that technical reports on progress on the infrastructure equally could have been published on their website or through any other medium that people can have access to. But in the absence of that, it becomes difficult at this point in time to even say whether the Energy Commission is doing its work well or has done its work or hasn't done its work. Whatever it is, at this point, the Energy Commission has raised concerns. And I am a little baffled that initially the Energy Commission had issues, but after some board meeting with the entity involved in the ministry, it appears there is a shifting of the goalposts. Now, the Energy Commission is saying that, oh, they were raising concerns in relation to safety and all that, and that they think that they have assured them, if you read the release that the ministry has issued, that the Energy Commission raised concerns and they invited the Ghana National Gas Company to respond to the concerns, and subsequent to their explanation, Energy Commission is satisfied and they are ready to go. I think that that is actually watering down the essence and the importance of the concerns the Energy Commission raised. I shudder to think how, and look, let's get some of these fundamentals very clear. The Energy Commission is a technical regulator. What that means is that it is concerned with issues of technicality. For instance, the equipment you've used, are they up to standard? Are you fixing them the way they ought to be fixed, and so on and so forth? So if they are raising concerns, I shudder to think that concerns of technical nature can be addressed, especially on an infrastructure like this, within a space of 3 days. The concerns, according to the ministry's release, were raised on the 8th, and by 11th today, they are ready. And in fact, that was yesterday. They were ready and good to go. I think that these are very serious issues. And more so, it is not only Energy Commission that is raising concerns. There's another independent entity that has equally raised concerns. And they have gone beyond the so-called, and that is why I keep insisting on transparency. When the letter that has been written to the Ghana National Gas Company by the Energy Commission, nobody is privy to it except the ministry. They are claiming the letter, which is dated 8th November. None of us here sitting, none of us sitting here can say that you are privy to the content of that letter. It is only the ministry that is telling us what the content was about. And they are claiming it had to do with safety concerns. Now, well, I'm sure...
I think they are within their rights, since they are the overseers. So.
No, I'm saying that, what I'm saying is that, if we had access, if we were informed, and that's why I'm saying that Energy Commission could have done us a much better service by making us know at every point in time what their technical, evaluation of the project is, what is going on. So that this, something like the letter they've written to them, would have known what really the concerns were. Not for the ministry to come and say it was only limited to safety concerns. Because there's another entity that has raised concerns, and their concerns are not limited to only safety. Indeed, they have actually gone to the core of the very existence of this infrastructure. And I spoke about substandard equipment or materials used. Now, and Hakim was raising a point about considering the nature, the quantum, and the kind of investment we've done. If you do not take your time to ensure that every part of that infrastructure is up to date, meets minimum requirements or standards, that small part that you would have used substandard materials to construct can cause damage to the entire infrastructure. And when that happens, it is not the ministry cannot explain itself out of this situation. And Ghanaians at that point, there's very little we can do. All we can do is to lament. Why don't we give ourselves the opportunity to avert this lamentation by allowing the technical regulator to have its concerns well addressed? But if you are writing a release and your thinking is that by this release, all concerns by Energy Commission are deemed to have been resolved, I think that is a little simplistic. And the concerns raised by that other body, I have heard other people, especially from the ministry, they dismiss what that entity that has done the study.
Yeah.
Wood Group.
Wood Group, I think. People are being dismissive of their findings, and they are attempting to say that these are findings that lack technical merit and so on and so forth. Look, this infrastructure belongs to Ghanaians. And the Energy Commission is here to license the Ghana National Gas Company to start processing of gas. Now, they are saying that they are giving them a week within which to do their test runs, after which an assessment can be made and then the licensing done if indeed the test runs have proven that the infrastructure is up to date. I would urge at this point that now that the Ghana National Gas Company is denying any inadequacy or any shortfall in fulfillment of technical requirements as far as the construction of the infrastructure is concerned, now that they are denying that, I would urge, in fact, if the Energy Commission had any job to do, this is the time for them to do it, to ensure that they monitor and evaluate the test runs so efficiently, such that by the time they are done, indeed everybody's concerns about whether the input into the construction met minimum international standards or not, so that if they are convinced, and technically so, that either some substandard materials as alleged by this group were seen to have been used, or that the project is not 100% complete and that we needed to further some construction on it. They need to ensure that they do the evaluation and the monitoring seriously, so that at the end of the day, before they do the licensing, they would have satisfied themselves and indeed satisfied us, the investors, because we are the investors into this project.
I'll put the brakes on here and let's read this, take a break, come back, and then maybe you understand where Atik is coming from. The Energy Commission has directed Ghana National Gas Company to immediately stop injection of natural gas into the pipelines of the Atuabu gas processing plant. It has come to the attention of the Energy Commission that there are still hot work activities, including welding, taking place within the gas processing plant, although our understanding was that the plant has been mechanically complete for several weeks now. A letter issued to the Ghana Gas on November 8, 2014 mentioned. According to the Energy Commission, Ghana Gas does not have permission to introduce hydrocarbons into any section of the gas processing plant as prescribed by Section 6.4 of schedules to the Commission permit issued to Ghana Gas. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, continue the discussion. Well, thank you very much for staying, and the topic is gas in Ghana. Now, let me continue the letter. Now, the Commission said that until it clarifies the current situation and the safety conditions at the plant, all manner of activity by Ghana Gas on the pipelines should stop. The Ghana Gas Company has been told to fulfill the following demands: provide a description of the construction work ongoing on either side, provide a statement on how the work affected previously declared mechanical completion and how the work impacted the ability to safely commission the plant. At the Atuabu gas processing plant is expected to generate 150 million standard cubits of gas per day, and go on and on and on. So basically, what Energy Commission is saying that, look, tell us exactly what you are doing there, because we've already given us a letter to say you've completed job, and there you are welding bits and pieces, and therefore let us know. But then Ghana Gas seems to say whatever work they're doing, it's okay to commission the gas. But can't we say they know best? I mean, they are the ones building it. I mean, they should know better than.
I mean, no, I'm sure before Hakim comes in, you see, if you look at the mandate of the Energy Commission, when they say they are a regulator, being a regulator doesn't mean yours is to just come and observe and go. The Energy Commission is made up of technical people. They know, and of course, they did not just accept the letter written to them by the Ghana National Gas Company regarding the completion, hook, line, and sinker. Of course, they had their technical men do some assessment. Now, it comes as a surprise. If you are a regulator, somebody tells you, I'm done with this project, and you see that there is still work ongoing. Describe it however you describe it. The truth of the matter is that there were works still ongoing. And not just ordinary works, but hot works, which means you had welding and other things which produced or used heat in the process. Now, a project that is deemed to have been complete, I started to think, and that is, I'm sure at this point, my thinking is in line with that of the Energy Commission. One would wonder why and how that after you've completed a project, you will still be found doing these hot works on that plant. And that is why I find the intervention of the Ministry of Energy a little problematic. To claim that it was the concerns of Energy Commission were purely on the basis of safety. I do not think that welding is a response to a safety concern. If anybody is welding, I mean, is engaged in doing hot works, I do not think that it is a way of providing safety to workers, because the person is not just welding anywhere, but the person is welding on the pipes and other very important, parts or components of the infrastructure. So for the ministry to intervene and say that those hot works were in response to safety challenges, for me, is a little problematic. But you see, Ghana National Gas Company, if you are saying they are the technical people, they should know better. Of course, technical people, they prognose and they project, and they are able to tell you timelines within which certain things should be done. Look, we started getting timelines and dates of completion since 2011. Up to today, we are still not sure whether the project is complete and ready to start test runs or not. But these are people, they are supposed to be technical people. So at this point, they've lost the confidence of Ghanaians regarding their technical accuracy, whether what they are telling us indeed technically is correct or not. And that's why the regulator is very important. They are to give us an independent viewpoint about whether what Ghana National Gas Company is saying is true or not. And they have raised concerns. And look, there are attempts to mask the importance, the severity of the concerns that the Energy Commission and other people have raised, to the extent that the ministry has found it important and relevant to intervene, to write a letter absolving Ghana National Gas Company and making it look as if the concerns of the Energy Commission were exaggerated concerns and that they had no technical basis and so on and so forth. So if a regulator has concerns, you are just an overseeing ministry. You are not directly involved with the supervision and the assessment of the project. You are an umbrella body, and that is why you have the Energy Commission is supposed to be working.
Let me bring Hakim here. Hakim, when's Ghana Gas not competent enough to say that yes, just bring the gas? Surely, listen, if they are welding, and we all know that when you're welding and gas comes, it's a dynamite, it's a bomb. And they are there. So if it's really dangerous, they're not going to call and say, yeah, you bring the gas in while they're still welding. So it means that whatever it is they're doing would not affect the gas in a way, because they are the ones. Energy Commission is not there. They are the ones there. So
yeah,
I'm sure
that argument is in line with the saying that he who feels it knows it. Yes, and I think in this situation, it might not be very tenable to go on that tangent, because this is more like a student and teacher relation. You, the student, you have to submit your work to the teacher for assessment. You can't assess yourself as a teacher, a student, no matter how good you are. So Ghana Gas, no matter how good they are, they must respect the mandate of Energy Commission, because sometimes even Energy Commission, after doing its checks, might go ahead to even involve another independent or an expert to go and also check through and try to see if their findings are in commensurate with what they have found earlier. And if they realize that, yes, the findings are very good enough to grant permit or license for commercial production or transmission, then it means that Energy Commission had by then accomplished its mandate. And so at this point, petroleum, Ghana Gas, no matter how competent it is with its engineers and all that, but when it comes to safety concerns and also standards, I think it's about where my competence also lies, because Energy Commission its competence lies in trying to ensure standards. And Ghana Gas competence lies on producing and processing gas.
You see, I'm sure.
Why do you have to, in a way, try to take over the, what is it, the work of the other? Because it's Energy Commission that should do the regulation, and now it is adding that to its production and processing mandate and running that together. So what is the essence of Energy Commission?
I agree with you. You see, at the moment, Energy Commission has given them the okay.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that they will give them, because if indeed the work was shoddy and the gas would leak and explode or blow up, Ghana Gas is not going to say, yeah, we've built all these things over this year, let's blow it up by texting the gas. So it must be safe enough, and that's why Energy Commission is.
Yeah, energy. Yes, I think Energy Commission is raising concerns here, and they are not vague.
Well, no, you see, they raised concerns
are
on
not
the 8th,
vague.
but as at the 10th, which was as at yesterday,
yes,
they backed down on their concerns to say.
So that even creates more room for concerns. What really transpired within the 2 days or whatever that they're able to come out with this resolution? Because this makes me feel that probably there might have been some kind of massaging of rules to allow the process go on. Because if it's about welding and that some parts are not well joined, and they enumerated a number of concerns. So it means if it comes back to tell us that, what we raised earlier is like,
I don't know,
we're not that serious.
Is there a fire service there? Is there a fire station ready there?
I should think so.
It's
part of the infrastructure. You can't have.
Without fire station.
Yes, even before you pump the gas to the plant, you need to have emergency response mechanisms put in place.
Okay.
To ensure that if there's any blowout or like accident anywhere.
You see, I'm listening to both of you talk, and I'll come back to you. Is this a technical startup or political startup? I mean,
Yeah, I think, as I was saying, there's room to think otherwise. Because if you look at the posture of the Minister of Energy on this matter, it's more like, he traveled to the plant immediately, and with the disposition that, it must go on. It must go on. And indeed, it is going on. They have now come out to tell us that everything is okay. Now, within 2 days. So that is where the doubt comes in. Is it Energy Commission that should go there to come out with this, or it is Ministry of Energy that should, the minister that should go himself? It means the political interest is very high. And probably I begin to feel that there's pressure on Ghana Gas due to this.
Well, as for pressure there.
Yeah, our energy crisis might be a reason.
And so pressure has been there for years.
Yeah, but it's like now it's mounting on.
Let me bring Atik. I think again, would you say is
I mean,
political startup or technical startup?
I mean, look, let's not kid ourselves into thinking that this is an entirely technical stuff, and that Ghana National Gas Company have finished with their mechanical works and technically they are ready to go. Look, the timelines, this political interest began the very minute this project was actually wasn't conceived now. It was supposed to be one of the, what shall I say? Yeah, one of the components that would accompany the production of oil in commercial quantities in this country. So it is something that already we knew. But the construction of that infrastructure, the beginning of the construction, the idea to even start the construction was political. And that was when the political interest grew or started growing, and has since been growing exponentially. Now we've got to a point where there is the political need for this more than ever. Look, if there is ever any political need for this, it is now. The pressure on government is limitless. Government is contending with agitating workers over their pensions. The economy is in serious intensive care unit. Everything that, I mean, nothing seems to be on a proper track. Government is faced with this ever-growing shortfall in energy supply. And you have a situation where there is that gas infrastructure, which government had trumpeted from the word go that, oh, this will be the panacea to all your problems. The messiah of your energy crisis is here, and that is Atuabo. Now, and they started giving you this to appeal. You see, in fact, the energy crisis came to a head in August of 2012. That was when Atuabo became a really significant political tool. Oh, Atuabo is here. It is coming to take care of your troubles. Then they began with timelines. Oh, by January of 2013. Oh, and the president, and you see, unfortunately, they brought the president into this fray. He would come and promise you, bearing in mind that Atuabo is on the way. Atuabo never comes. We don't get other fuels to power our plants, and the doom so continues. He goes to renew his failed promise again elsewhere, giving you a renewed or different timeline. So Atuabo from the word go became a serious political tool. Now there is a huge political need for it. And I can understand why the minister, his job is on the line.
You see,
to have flown to the site to tell them, my friends, what are you doing? This thing has to come on. Whether it is technically fit or not. What are you talking about? This thing has to come on.
We can't conclude that that's what happened there.
Look,
you see, we can't conclude.
Look, Nana, read their list and you understand. There is every effort, there is every energy they are expending to ensure that this thing, if for nothing at all.
If I made you Minister of Energy now, you would put, fire that, look, you guys have to get this thing up and running by hook or crook.
Exactly the point. Even when it is technically unfit to do so.
No. I mean, put it up and running, but technically fit.
No, and I'm telling you that even why. The minister is, I'm sure, in constant touch with the president. The president has given him clear instructions. Chief, this thing has to be up and running. The thing is not ready yet. Of course, you go to have a meeting with the company.
My argument is that
the company tells you, for instance, it is 95%
maybe it's a
complete.
5-day job, and it says, no, you do it in 2 days.
So
you work 3 shifts, 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours.
Nana, you see,
it done.
I can understand that ordinarily, there are some things you can do that to achieve results. We are talking about a very sensitive. This is a plant, and when we talk about plant, we are not talking about idea sowing ton chest. This is about an infrastructure. And like the point has always been made, as for the oil and gas industry, every component of it is risky. Gas, you don't flare it properly, it can destroy, an entire region. And this is a huge plant. So if you begin to flow in the natural gas from the FPSO, and technically there are some portions that were incompetent for the test runs, what you risk doing is blowing the entire infrastructure. And you can imagine, if that infrastructure, may God forbid, explodes, you can imagine the effects. Maybe it could be 95% complete. And, in our part of the world, 95%, we quickly approximate, 95% is 100%. So instead of you wasting my time, putting my job on the line, waiting for the 100%, my friends, let's get it running.
Let me take a quick break here. When I come back, even this gas coming in, how much help is it going to bring? How much energy is it going to add to, energy deficit? And are we expecting too much? Stay tuned.
These people.
Thank you very much for staying tuned. Ghana gas and matters are rising, but I know somewhere deep in my heart that in a week's time it will all be over. There will be gas flowing, and we'll all be happy. But with a plant like that, even though they say, let's say they're giving us gas today, it could probably take up to 3 months to get all the companies checked up and the gas tank filled up. And it's not like your old car where you fill the petrol and drive and go, is it? What's the standard procedure?
Gas normally comes from the upstream plant, and when it is stored there, the storage capacity is really very low. It has to be shipped downstream immediately, otherwise it is fled.
I'm talking about this gas plant.
Yes.
I mean, how long before it actually supplies gas to all these other generators
Yes,
and plants?
As of now, they said when they begin, today that is that the 60 million that they have, yeah, it will take 42 days before they'll be able to produce up to capacity. That's 120 per day. So even between now and then, whatever they are doing, no, it's not up to capacity yet. And even the safety concerns, we cannot even know them now until it is up to full capacity, because you have to test with the worst case scenario. So if you are now using 16 million to test or to begin with, how then do you even conclude that it is okay? What if it then gets to full capacity and it cannot stand the full capacity? So in every dimension of it, as it goes, from day to day, process to process, Energy Commission will have to come in here. And always
2 days to full
not
capacity.
just 42 days, always, because it's even after the 42 days.
No, I'm saying like initially, it needs 42
initially,
days to,
even I'm trying to say that within even the initially, the risk is not that high, the pressure is not there on the pipelines, like as compared to when it is beyond 42 days. So it means that after 42 days, they need to even ensure that certain things are well done, become more imperative than even now. And so the gas issue is blown out of proportion, especially when it comes to this issue of when we should begin and when we should not begin. It is about doing the right thing, basically, because it is huge infrastructure investment. And if there's damage there, not only the economic loss will be felt, but life and safety, environmental damage is another dimension of it. So from now to when we begin getting gas into our homes and whatever, it's a whole lot of process. And we didn't rush over anything when it comes to this. We didn't rush.
Let me bring Asare in. I think our expectation on the gas, is it realistic?
I think it's an exaggerated expectation. And like I said, it's a political...
VRA is doing what, $55 million every 3 months. I mean, this would slash down the import of light crude.
No, we are told that the projected savings that will be made from the coming on stream of this infrastructure will be $500 million, I think, annually. But the point still remains that this is not going to solve our energy problems. At least it would reduce part of the pressure. But as to whether Dumso will cease, I don't think so. Look at, I mean, the last time I checked, what is it? Our daily, of course, the thermal plants are the fuel requirements, and by fuel requirements, I am implying gas, because some of these thermal plants, or most of them, are dual fueled. That is, they use either LCO, light crude oil, or they use gas. But I'm speaking specifically of gas now. Our gas requirements, as we speak, to be able to power the thermal plants, as at the last check, stood at around 200 million metric cubic feet. But now I'm told that with the addition of more plants to the installed capacity, fuel requirements have even shot to somewhere around 400 million.
About 450.
I mean 450 million.
450
now,
as of today.
Yes. Now, if that is the situation, I mean, how many millions are we expecting to get from Atuabu? It would not go beyond 150 maximum. And even so, 150, it means we would have been stretching the infrastructure or overstretching the infrastructure to accommodate the gas that will be produced on the FPSO and so on. Now, couple that, and let's bear in mind that our only gas market now is the Nigerian gas market. And out of that Nigerian gas market, we are not exploring the full market, because there are private entities that are in the business of selling natural gas. We are not dealing with them. Until recently, when I heard the minister claim that they are beginning to have negotiations with private natural gas dealers. Before then, our whole life was dependent on the West Africa gas, project. And at full capacity, that project is able to supply us 120 million metric cubic feet, which is, as at, before the addition of some of these new plants, as at the time our daily demand was 200 million metric cubic feet. I mean, at full capacity, we were even running at 80 million metric cubic feet deficit. Because at full capacity, which has never been possible, we were still going to need 80 million more to be able to augment our daily needs of 200 million metric cubic feet. But Nigeria, the best they gave us was 95 million. It plummeted at some point to the point that we were even getting 30 million. Now, let me give Ghana a best case scenario, whereby we are producing at full capacity, which is, where the West Africa Gas Pipeline is producing at full capacity, which is 120 million. And that is far from possible. It never will be possible. Let me couple it with maximum, and this is not possible, but let me also say 150 million from the Atuabo. Together, you are getting 270. That is the best we can hope for, 270, with all things being equal, Now, 270, the difference of 450 and 270, we all know, it is over 100 and something million.
Yeah.
And that is significant, which means that Dumso is going to go on unabated. And God have mercy, if Nigeria decides to do the things they did not long ago, whereby their supply to Ghana plummeted to 30 million. In fact, it's going to be the same vicious old cycle. The Atuabo is never going to solve anything. I agree that it would save Ghana some money, because in the absence of gas, we have to rely on light crude oil, which is very, very expensive. And that is why you talked about VRA incurring over $55 million on daily basis. At least, with the coming on stream of this, it would reduce some of the expenditure burdens on VRA and on government. But the most important thing is that let's not think that this is going to solve all our problems. We are exaggerating the expectations. And it began with government. Government, prodded all of us into believing that Atuabo is the Messiah. Atuabo is the Hakuna Matata. Atuabo is the Alpha and the Omega. And that with the coming on stream of this, let's all forget about Dumso. It's going to be a thing of the past and so on. So, having prodded us into this, everybody's now thinking that, why? Atuabo must come on stream. With Atuabo, everything will be solved. But things are going to get worse when Atuabo comes on stream and the problem continues. Which I can assure you, I'm not a doom monger, but the truth be told, that even with Atuabo,
it will be better.
Well, better is relative. We were assured, without sounding political, we were assured of better. Now better is turning out not to be better. But on a more serious note, I think that we have had exaggerated expectations about Atuabo. Yeah. It will do something, but it will not solve the Dumso problem.
Let's give it a couple of weeks. We'll come back and, I'll put these boys to shame. Let me give you
Oh, I would be very glad to be shamed on this particular one.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Really glad.
Thank you very much, guys. And thank you for watching. And as I said, tomorrow we'll be back to do it all over again.